Incredible morning. Hello, everyone. Incredible morning. How is everyone doing today? All right, y'all. We are going to talk about some more things for your business. In today's episode, we're going to talk about business cards that can be designed right in Silhouette Studio. All right, let me hopefully get this video, like hopefully the feed pops up and I'm able to share it out fairly quickly so we can get into this, get in, get out. It's normally the sharing process that takes me a while with with the videos and kind of getting started. It's normally that. So all right. Just waiting for this to pop up so that I can share it out. How are you guys doing today on this good old Thursday? Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I don't know why my phone is saying no internet right now. Hello, hello, incredible morning, everyone. Come on in, hit that like button as you can. If you enjoy my content, you know that it's always great information for everyone. So go ahead and hit that share button as well. Share it with others, help the algorithm, let Facebook and YouTube know that, hey, the professor is on. She's always dropping valuable information and these folks need to hear it. So I'm sharing it out so that you need to share it to distribute it. All right. So just, okay, there we go. Woohoo. All right. So we're going to pull that up and we're going to hit share. All right, 1 second. All right, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and send this to my groups. All right, there we go. All shared out. Okay, cool beans. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this. Hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the parent company of my longtime brand for teaching you guys how to use Silhouette Studio for the brand of printing supplies and also my academy, 365 Creative Academy, unlock your creativity in a wide variety of ways. And it's no different than for your business. You can unlock creative ways, especially when you are starting up and you are in the infancy of your business or side hustle. You're just kind of getting into this. Maybe you're not quite sure if you want it to be a full-fledged business, and you may not know if you want to invest a lot of money up front for that you will need to help market and promote your business, and hiring or contracting designers to be able to create those, because your designs may change, your thought process, because as you're building your business. Wait, let me back up. Hear this and hear me well. If you are someone that is just starting out, I can guarantee you what you have on paper right now may not be what you end up with, like once you're really into the groove of things. From the name that you're in, the colors, the logo or graphics that you may have, because a lot of times people start off with, not so great quote unquote logos, and then end up having to change it. Maybe when it comes to your name, you realize that it doesn't quite. As you are learning and growing, just to identify yourself, you can, start off one way and then, slowly start to rebrand once you come into your own. Most people will tell you, don't do that. Set everything from the beginning. But when you are new to this, it is really hard to do that. And it is perfectly fine to rebrand. You're going to see one of my old logos, and I no longer go by that brand. And when I switched everything over to HS Ink Designs and HS Ink Prints, it was a no-brainer because people still knew me. It wasn't just the name. They knew Shakia and what I brought to the table as far as creative things. So it wasn't a big stretch. And then I didn't waste unnecessary money on a name that I had for maybe a couple years. So don't let that scare you. If others are saying that you have to have everything, now, don't have to worry about the whole LLC thing, because if you're not really, really settled on your business name and colors and all of that, you're going to spend the money out trademarking, getting all your LLC stuff, and then end up switching it all up anyway. So be mindful of that. All right. We're also going to talk pretty soon about LLCs. As you guys know, we sell Honestly Speaking products. I have Sillaholics Anonymous. I have 365 Creative Academy. I intentionally bring up those three entities, and we also have other ones, but they all fall under our core business, our parent company, which is HS Ink 365. Your LLC does not have to be your business name. You can have other entities or other business names under your one LLC. You're just filing one tax. That is one thing that we're going to talk about, because people give a lot of misinformation when it comes to that. Can you have several LLCs? Yes. But then there's a lot to manage, especially if you are doing this on your own and you don't really have the help. So that's something to be mindful of. All right. But that's not what we're here for. That was just a little extra, a little extra sauce on it. We're going to talk about business cards in Silhouette Studio. All right. So I know you guys don't see me. I am my eyes are a little bit puffy, so I'm not fully camera ready. So you're going to see more of my screen this particular live. So yes, I am talking through the front banner right now. So if anyone goes and says, oh, I don't see anything, I'm talking through the banner because I can't turn on my camera. My eyes are a little puffy today. Okay. All right. So we're going to head on over to Silhouette Studio. All right. And this is the old version of my business cards when I was, for custom shirt. On here it says custom shirts, cups, decals, gifts, and party decor. Very simplistic. I did not want to have pictures and things like that. I mean, just my name, phone number, and how to find me on social media. As you can see on this one, I don't even really have my email on it. I am one, because of the business that I was in, I wanted to talk to my clients. I wanted to hear their voices. I wanted to hear what their request was. I didn't necessarily want to read in the email, because sometimes when people get lazy, they typically tend to not want to type up a bunch of stuff. It's just I needed it for a party. Okay, so I mean, like, how many, what size, what day, like, and I still end up having to call them anyway. So for me, it was strategic in that only my phone number was on there because I want you to call me so that I can, even if I can't answer, I can call you back and I can discuss. Because for me, creating custom items is something that is personal. If it was a situation where I was simply selling ready to ship items, things that were already done, had pre-made products, it would be totally different. But for me and my mindset and how I ran my business, which was very successful, and still is under HS Ink Designs and HS Ink Prints, I wanted to talk to them. So I strategically I did not have my email address on these particular cards. And my social media was more so of a lookbook. It wasn't where they could book anything. It was, hey, this is some of the things that I have created just to give you a quick snapshot of what I am capable of. So, go ahead and take a look, because back in the day, I used to have a book that I printed out pictures, and I would go, I would go on consultations, like for events and stuff. I would have that lookbook for them to go through. That was a lot, printing out all these pictures. Then, okay, we got into the digital age, and it was just a matter of having a folder that had these pictures, and my clients can kind of just flip through them. And then, of course, social media makes it so much easier because, it all lives on the internet and it's a click of a button. And back then, this was before I kind of got into QR codes. I probably would change this now to where there's a QR code on the back, them directly to either my link tree or directly to my social media, like to a specific social media landing site, so that they can easily get to mine and don't have to like type it in. But that was very strategic for me. If you notice, also not your traditional landscape style, I wanted one that was more of a portrait style. There is no right or wrong in that, in how you set it up. All of my information is also on one side. I did not want to have a double-sided business card. So everything for me was on one side. So I am going to show you a different business card that has a lot of different options. I'm going to show you one that I did for one of my clients when I set up her designs, and I give several layouts and several options, and they can choose it based off of the way that it looks, how they want the information to be put out there, as well as cost. Because if you're doing a double-sided, of course, the cost is going to be more for that. All right. So just wanted to show, my old card. My logos, I designed myself, right? You can't, like, when you go to certain graphic designers, they might design a logo or some type of graphic for you. They may not be able to design your business cards. So just because I'm showing you and saying that you can design them in Silhouette Studio, you don't have to design your logo. If that's not your area of expertise, don't skimp on that, because this is a representation of you. Yes, everyone's like, well, you can make your logo yourself, but if you know at your core, you are not that strong in design. Like, you can go and you can layer, you can put some things together, grab a JPEG and then crop it out, trace and detach it, layer it, change colors, do things like that. That's totally different from being a designer. And you want your logo to represent your business. You want it to look very professional. You want people to take you seriously with it. So consider getting contracting an actual graphic designer, and that really specializes in this, because not all graphic designers are great at creating logos. Do understand that. Not all graphic designers are great at creating logos. And even those who make logos, make sure that they have a wide range of like styles and things they've done, because I've come across designers and they are kind of one tone. Like, they are ones that they have to use glitter and bling and things like that. And if that's not what you're going for, you're never going to be satisfied with the logos that they give you, and because they're not going to understand your vision. Not all logo designers are versatile in their thinking and in their design. They have a certain way and they market to a certain customer, who wants that specific, mindful of that as well. But once you have your logo, or if you want to create your logo yourself, you can use Silhouette Studio to perfectly line up your business card, choose the fonts that you want to use for different things. All right. Now, last year, I did a course called Complement Your Small Business. Okay, so we're going to go over here. We're going to come to playback, which the direct link is in the description of this video, but I'm going to go the long way to get to it. So it was Complement Your Small Business, right? With Silhouette Studio. We often think of Silhouette Studio as the graphic designing software so that we can design our shirts or set up our shirt designs, our template, our tumblers, our mugs, our print and cuts, our stickers, our cards, and things like that. All of the creative and crafty things. But we have to, it is a designing software. I know that is my Achilles heel in that most people don't think of themselves as graphic designers. I might be talking like over their heads with, okay, I'm not trying to be a graphic designer. Like I just want to create. But whenever you put ideas to screen and to keyboard and to mouse, you are essentially becoming some sort of graphic designer. Even in, as a beginner, you're still laying, and that's what this program is for. There are for resources, a lot of other programs out there that can be used. I know on the rise is Canva because they provide a lot of the base elements for you where you don't really have to think about too much. But you also have to remember that with them providing all those elements, anybody else can also have those exact same elements. So, it makes it to where, you can personalize and you can customize it a little bit more and really stand out and be different. There are some things that are going to just be the same, no matter what. Canva is great, but knowing how to use an actual graphic designing software is always great as well, especially since 90% of the people take their designs from Canva, bring them into a graphic designing software to be able to properly size and or print. So you need to know how to use the program, even if it's just for that, like if you're going to use Canva. But this was, it's been a while. It wasn't last year. I want to say it's 2 years ago now. I did what's called Complement Your Small Business. And in this, I went through, like we had several sessions per week. So it's 2 per week. We started with like really basic text-based logos only. And the fact that they can be and I was showing that they can stand out, just text-based. You don't have to have pictures and strawberries and apples and shirts and heat presses or full on kangaroos that are lifelike instead of vector. You don't have to have all that to identify what your business is, especially when you're first starting out. All you need is something that identifies who you are. Again, remember, this doesn't have to be your last and final logo. If you do research, you'll find out that a lot of major brands went through a couple of drafts and revisions before they came upon the final like logo. And then even with that, it has changed so much over the years. McDonald's is one of, the big ones. Like it's changed a lot. Domino's has changed a lot. KFC, all food places that let you know I am very, very hungry and I'm waiting for my husband to come home so I can go eat. I'm actually very hungry because I just realized I named all foods. GE, I'm just saying some food. GE just went through a change. Walmart has gone through a lot of changes in their logos and things like that. So you don't have to be married to your logo when you're first starting, and it doesn't have to be an official logo. You can just have your name written out in a font, maybe add some accents, establish your brand colors, and go from there. So I show you how to make basic logos and watermarks and how to then turn into a that you have business edition in order to do like the watermark, because then you can save it as a PNG when needed. But don't mind the times, because this is an old class that is no longer like live. This is all, you're getting the recordings from it. So I think, yeah, so this was done last year. So it was a year ago. March 2021 is when I did this particular class live. So don't mind the times, okay? And then we went wanting to create stickers or labels like poly mailers, like being able to design them. This is not necessarily about like the print cut. Just because you design it here in Silhouette doesn't mean that you have to DIY it as far as doing a print and cut with your Epson or your Canon or your HP brother printer and then cut it on, with your Cameo or Portrait machines. You can still outsource it. So you're able to design it and then send it off to someone and do it for, you can still work on like other stuff. To have to stop to do these, if you want a lot of them and you're still in the middle of orders, can be a lot. You can do your prototypes and like your tester ones. You don't have to do it yourself, but I show you how to at least design, know how to design it for like your poly mailers. If you've ordered from us, you'll see that we have a sticker that goes on our poly mailers, on our boxes. That just helps with brand awareness when, it's going through all the different hands of the carriers. They get to see your business. So it is good to brand your box. Then, of course, social is very important. So you have your Facebook, your YouTube, your website, your cover photos and stuff like that. Like I show you to find the sizes, how to properly size it, understanding inches versus pixels, and all that kind of good jazz. Product tags. So if you're wanting to put tags on your candles, on your soaps, if you want to create hang tags for your shirts, you want to put some sort of tag in with your tumblers, you want to put something in like a care tag, how to size them up, how to align them. There we go. I just lost my whole train of thought. We go over that. Now, before I go through the other one, I do want to say that the reason why this is discounted to $36.50, you can take this and jumpstart understanding, how to do these things. We have a new course that's coming up, that's going to be pretty much here and with some minor tweaks and changes in like the lineup. All right. So, oh gosh, sorry, something flew in my eye. That a new class is going to definitely cost a little bit more than $36.50. But if this is within your budget, it is the older one. You have to, you watch it on your own and you learn from it. I will also like to put the disclaimer that I show you how to. There's a very big difference between understanding a graphic designing program and understanding how to design something. And that's one of the things that most people need to, grasp, that someone can teach you Photoshop and you can learn all the tools of Photoshop, of Affinity, of Illustrator. Now, just because you know the tools doesn't mean that you're going to understand composition and arrangement and layout and being able to those creative juices to be able to put it together for a business card. You've ever done was, shirts and things, trying to switch your mind for business cards or for product labels. I give you so many different ideas to help you think outside the box of how to arrange things. That's what this is for. If you're wanting to learn Silhouette Studio, this, and because I'm not going in and saying, okay, well, we're going to put this here and we're going to subtract. Okay, you subtract does, duh. That's not what this is. It's, okay, we're going to take this element, and to create this effect, you're going to subtract. Now, if you don't know where subtract is, what subtract does, why it does this, then that's where my 30-day training studio comes into play. And our new course launches, Essentials is a prerequisite, because we are going to get down to the nitty-gritty of design, not teaching you Silhouette Studio. That is what my essentials is for. So if you're just wanting to learn the basics of the program, Essentials to Silhouette Studio is for you. If you feel like you know a little bit about it, may not want to pay the higher price for the new live class, this is an option for you to kind of jumpstart that. So it is discounted because this is the old one. We're phasing this out, and I will have a new program. And once that new program is available, this one will not be available anymore. If you already have it, you have forever access to it, but it won't be available for purchase, not even at a discounted rate. So then we go through thumbnails. So like this right here is a thumbnail. If I come here, go to our main page. So these are thumbnails. If I come down, everything for the product, you see how here everything is the same size. Something is not like bigger, smaller, all that, like for at least for our products. I have to go back in and change some of these because as you can see here, these are all the same size, but this one is not. This was an old way I was need to change all of these. But just understanding how to size so that your product thumbnails look great, even when you have just the item. This is just the so if I click on, let's see, will it let me do it? So if I click on just that, or if I save it, it's just that image, but it's sized properly to where the same size. So we go through how to do right in Silhouette Studio. Scratch off cards. That was one that was trending at the time. So we added that to it as far as creating scratch off cards. I now have a full detailed video, like a YouTube video for that one. That won't be in the new one because again, I have a YouTube video that I broke down even how to make them, where to get the little circles from and all that. So there's a free YouTube video for that. IG posts and overlays. When you see, like, let's say you have a product and you want to be able to easily brand it, you want to watermark it, or you want to put like you have a standard one that you want so that all your IG or like just pictures and stuff looks the same. It's called show you how to create that. Now you will have to either bring your picture in and put it on, put it behind it in Silhouette and save it, or use a app such as like Pixar and things like that. But it's great to know how to do business cards, of course, and thank you cards. So you can learn how to do all of that where it's not about the products. If you are someone that does not make shirts, does not make tumblers, maybe you are someone that makes soaps, you make candles, you have a workout, you have you're a fitness. I'm into like personal training. There we go. And you're into fitness. Maybe you are someone that is helping others with like their meal plans and stuff like this. So you have a business where you're not creating anything whatsoever. If you're intimidated or don't want to pay for like monthly for Photoshop and things like that, if the outline of kind of intimidates you, Silhouette Studio is something where it's not aggressive on the eyes. You don't get intimidated by like a bunch of like buttons and windows and stuff. And you can create some marketing things for your business since you're just starting up. Understand that Silhouette Studio can be used by anyone. If you are a teacher and you want to create some things like for your classroom and for your students, you can create that all in Silhouette. So now I'm going to share with you guys, some business cards that I made and show you different layouts, right? We're going to go over here, and this was for a massage therapist. So with this one, I offered her technically 3 different layouts for her business card. One where on the front, it was her logo that, yes, I designed. That front. With this one, it made it to where it was what I call it's a quick look. Hey, here's the logo. Here's my email address. It's on the front. And it kind of helps fills in some space. Or you can have that on, like have it without anything on the front other than the logo. And then back side of it for this one, because the email address was on the front, you don't have to worry about taking up space here. And that allows you to make things because you don't have to worry about spacing for that. So here, because it was just the phone number and then just her social media, her phone number was able to be bolder and stand out. As you can see here, her name and a representation of her business. So I created the logo, and then there's this icon. So the hot stones and the leaves are something that, I'm able to put, and she's able to use that, and that becomes just an icon that represents her business. So this part is the same. This part right here, or actually, I think that might be a little bit different in size for the licensed and insured, but they're pretty much in the same spot. They could technically be the same size. But here for the phone number, whether you want it to go like across and it becomes a little bit smaller, or if you want it to stand out. So I couldn't necessarily do this and then have her email address be there, because her email address was really, really, really long. So as you can see right here, I had to strategically put it where, and it had to be the one on top so that it can be in the space that had, like, it was longer, because this goes down. I couldn't put her email address anywhere. So it strategically had to go where it was or above because of the length of it. I typed it out, and I literally put it right where it started to meet the outline. So it could never go any lower, or it would be in here and hard for people to see. So when I'm teaching, I'm not just teaching you about, okay, well, this is how you make the size. The true caveat in designing is understanding little things like that. Why can't you force it? Your customer saying, your client saying, but I want it down at the bottom. Well, baby, if it's at the bottom, nobody gonna see your email address, because it's gonna be tonight and cheap. So just understanding concepts like this is what I teach in my classes, and that's what you get. It's not surface level. It is for you to truly understand what it means to design. And designing is so much more than picking a font, changing the colors, and things like that. And so, of course, we have just her social medias here, right? Now, as we come down, you'll see the layout of this, right? We come down to here, because she wanted something that kind of represented the business. This has an image on it. You don't have to have that. So this is one to where the logo is on there off to the side, her name and her title. We have it set up pretty much the same way it is here and here, and then this moves down. So it's just about rearranging and then giving your clients options. I hear way too often, I see in posts way too often, where people are like, oh, well, I gave them a price, but they didn't want it, da, 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 da. Oh, they can't afford me, this, that, and the third. No, some people have budgets. But the sign of a great business, a service-based owner, a business owner who provides services or provides customized things, is to give them options. You can get this one. It is a single-sided. It's going to cost you X, Y, and Z to have these printed. Okay, but I want double-sided. Well, let's say I want this one. It's double-sided. Well, that's going to cost you X, Y, and Z. It's only, okay, well, I cannot provide you this. Within your budget, you can get this. Now, if you would like to increase your budget, we can definitely set you up to have this style printed. That is the cost for it. So I'm not denying you service. I'm not turning you away. I'm going to provide you options that may fit within your style and in your budget. Now, if these don't work for you, there's nothing that I can do for you. Thank you for your payment for me designing it. It is yours because you have paid me for it. Hey, you can do what you will with it. And when I say that, trust and believe, if I've taken the time to do this and I hand it to them, and if they don't like the pricing that I have, oh, I don't charge $25 for this and to go and release these to you. When I go and I talk about pricing, I am going to talk about certain services and things like that. This is not a $25 for shirts. I might design like a $25 design if I'm making it. If you're wanting me to design for you where I'm going to release the graphics to you, oh, trust and believe there is a different fee for that. Same thing with this. If my prices for printing don't work with you, you paid me to design it. Here are the files because you have paid for that. You do what you will. If you find somebody else cheaper that can do both for you, by all means, go ahead. But if you want these designs, you're going to pay for the release of them. There are ways to do things in business to where you're not being screwed over. And this is what I teach in my creative business for you to really, truly understand about business. And it's not just about how much you make and the money and all that. You have to understand how to run business. How it goes from pricing to customer service to knowing what methods you can provide discounts on and which ways you can't. So if you're interested in truly learning about running a creative, like a business where you're doing creative things, consider joining my creative business program. Like I said, June, July, and August, we are really diving into pricing and understanding pricing and profit and things like that. Because we've gone over, taking pictures, we've gone over so many different things. We're going to end this semester of creative business talking about pricing and profit. All right. Does this open EPS files? Yes. If you have Business Edition, it will open up EPS files. Depending on how detailed that file is, if it is one to where someone has created things and it's a bunch of shadows and things like that, if they use any type of gradients like fade to transparent, those will come up a little funky in Silhouette because it's not really for those types of files. But can you open up EPS, especially if it's like solid colors and things like that? Yes. How soon will the new one be available? We are doing that in July. It is going to be in July. You don't have to your logo is the most liberating statement I've heard today. Well, I'm glad to hear that, but you really, really don't. All right. Any questions for me? I'm gonna give you guys just a little bit of understanding sizes and what it means to have like your safe zones and things like that. But in general, any questions for me before I show the last little part as far as just giving you a little insight into setting it up and how to add things to it. All right, I'll give you guys a minute to type up any questions that you may have. And while I'm doing that, I just realized I never did say hello and good morning to everyone. So while I'm waiting for you guys to type up your questions, we're going to go ahead and say good morning to a few folks. Incredible morning. Thank you so very much for joining. If you guys are not still on, I still thank you for when you did come on and spending your, part of your morning with me. So good morning, incredible morning, everyone. Hey, Jesse. Hey, Jesse. The question is, good morning. What paper do you use for business cards? I do not print them. Business cards, really, there is no right or wrong because there are some that are called like economy and they are on basically regular cardstock. If you're wanting to just DIY and you're wanting to do it yourself and kind of have like your prototype, you can definitely use 85 pound. If your printer will print to the 100 pound, you can definitely use that. But ideally, you want to use, they don't really use by pounds and like weights like that. It's either cover stock or like paper sizes that are like basically by points. They're done with offset printers and bigger printers. I design stuff like this. I don't try to print. I can send it to my printer, and because they have an industrial, they have a more efficient printer that's going to print them out on a sheet. They have a really large cutter that's going to be able to cut a stack in like less than a second and then be able to move it. They're more efficient with doing things that you just don't need to DIY yourself. And I choose to not DIY business cards. So I outsource them. I send them off to, I have a couple local printers that I use here in case one is busy, this, that, and the third. So they print it on standard weight, unless you're wanting something a little bit fancy, because you can get some color, you can get them embossed if you want to upgrade it. But of course, those have fees with it. If you're wanting to print them at home, there's like Avery and things like that. They have pre-cut, and it's like really, really thin lines, so you're not going to get like these thick perforated cuts. They have those available if you want to put it, kind of print them yourself. Or if you want to do it as a print and cut yourself, you can do that to like 80 pound. It's not your standard, but it can be something that you can use just to, in the interim until you get them printed out. My one of my printers here, I get 500 business cards for $35. There's no way that your printer or any paper that you use, you're ever going to get that value. So yes, this was created as a whole from the logo to every. The only thing that was not, of course, done because this is a picture. So I brought this picture into Silhouette Studio, but it was all done. I mean, even I'm gonna ungroup this. So we have this little piece here and how it is cropped there, and then we have the outline of it. I mean, ooh, look, that's even nice like that to have the separation. But every part of this was done right in Silhouette Studio, even the logo. All right. So standard business cards are 3.5 by 2 inches. So you're going to start with that. That's going to be your standard. So here is your rectangle, your drawing tool. Here's your rectangle. You just make a general box and then go up to the top and do 3.5 by 2. Okay, boom. Here you go. All right, and I'm just gonna come on, move this to the side, and you want to never have your information be right to the edge, just in case things are a little bit off when it gets cut. You never want to have your information close to the edge. So when you're designing it, don't have it where your logo is always at the top. Always give yourself a little bit of room for those important things. Now, your graphics can definitely go well off to the edge and kind of, in case it gets cut off, you're not going to see that. So the bleed of it, if you're doing like full color, but anything major, you don't want it to the edge. So you're going to go over here to your inset and your offset. You're going to do an internal offset, and 0.125 is like, okay, I typically tend to kind of come in sometimes to 0.125 for the sides and try and keep everything here. But for the most part, 0.125, like all the way around, really does give you a nice safe zone. If you're going to do a bleed, or if your printer requires a bleed, you're just going to do offset. I'm going to go corner. And you can ask your printer what their offset needs, like their bleed area needs to be. And they'll put the crop marks and all of that. If you just tell them what the size is, as long as it's even, they're going to know where to put their cut marks at. But in this is just for your background. So if I were doing, let's say, this image, although it fits right here, right? I'm going to ungroup, and this technically would be white. And then right here, I'm just going to do it because I don't have it like set up on here already for this. I'm just going to manually do it. Oh, wait, actually, I would have to, this is actually cut to the end already. So I really would have to move this down, and that's going to actually cut off parts of here. Oh, hold on one second. I must answer this. Just give me one moment, guys. This is a call that I could not miss. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. That was a very, very, very important phone call in regards to Zani seizures. So, I can bring it out here, but this is an image that technically, because this was the end of it. If I had to do this as a bleed, it would cut off the candle. So you have to think about stuff like that too. But ideally, you would want this to come out to where it is like the bleed area. Of course, I would have to fix it. I'm not going to worry about that. But you would have your bleed, and then that part would get cut off. All right. So that's kind of how you create a bleed. We're going to. All right, there we go. I want to see everything. And then as far as just arranging, or typing out your text for things, the A on this side, you click it. That's where you'll start to put your numbers, whatever information. So it's really easy to come in here, choose the, type out the text, choose the font that you want from this side, whatever that font may be. And then you would use either the top side or you can use this side to select the color. Now, I do not recommend ever using any of the colors that are in here. That is so important. It is best if you use like a Pantone color chart, or see if like you use like standard color charts and color codes, because Silhouette Studio, it can look kind of cuckoo crazy from here. And then the way that it comes from Silhouette Studio, where this is RGB and CMYK and all that. So find out from your printer how they want it saved, and never use the colors from up here or the colors here. You may end up having to do two, so that digitally from here it looks one way, but Silhouette Studio is kind of a little funky when it comes to that. So always use color codes. So go to your hex code with the hash mark and use color codes. But you can fill that in, you can resize it. We're going to turn off the line color, and you'll be able to resize that, place it where you want, align things. I mean, so this is just me giving you kind of the fact that you can do this in Silhouette. It's much more than a program for t-shirts and tumblers. You can design them. So I'm not giving you a full-on tutorial for it, just letting you know the possibilities. So I ordered business cards from someone on Etsy. My info is just too small to read, but I can't seem to be able to make any changes. What would be a good software program to use? So you may not be able to change theirs. If theirs is flat, like, so they gave it to you as a PNG or a JPEG and it has been flattened, you're not going to be able to change it. You're going to have to recreate it yourself. You can do it yourself and arrange everything. If you have your logo, you can bring that in. These are all separate pieces. So this part, the logo, was designed well before the business card. So when you're designing, you can't think that, okay, I need to do all of this stuff like all at one time, like design it in this little space. This was designed well before. My email, like the envelope, the social media icons, I have a file of those. So they're pre-made, ready to go. All I do is just align them and then, align it with the text. So those are things that are already done. And I'm now just taking it and typing out stuff and arranging it, aligning it, and things like that. So you may not be able to change the one that she did, especially if it has a background to it. You're just going to have to redo it. Now, if they sent you, let's say like a PDF and it's still in layers, if you have Designer Edition, Designer Plus, or Business, you can open up that PDF, tell it you want it to open as a vector. And if it is in layers, you'll be able to ungroup and move those layers around and be able to reset. You are welcome. All right, so there are no other questions. I am going to just close out, reminding you guys that the Complimentary Small Business class is available. It is now on sale because I am phasing it out. Once the new academy for this drops in July, this will not be available, but that might be outside of your budget. So this one is $36.50. It is closeout because once we start promoting it in June, by mid-June, this will not be available because we're going into the new one. The trainings in here and the modules and the sessions in here were live. So you'll get to hear all the different questions. You get the full playback. But remember that I am just simply showing how you're able to do certain things in the program. I am not breaking down each and every tool. That should be something that you should learn first before getting into designing. Designing shouldn't teach you the program. You should learn, at least where buttons are and what they do, and then focus on designing for any type of graphic designs. With the new one, my 30-day training will be a prerequisite. If you already have taken that, you will see a discount code that will be posted Now, with that discount code, whenever you are placing an order for something where that is a prerequisite, that cost will be built into it. So that discount code will basically take away the cost of the Essentials to Silhouette Studio, because you have to understand the program, because you'll get into these sessions and you'll be completely lost if I'm saying, okay, we're going to go here and subtract. Well, wait, what is subtract? What does that do? I'm not explaining what subtract does. I'm just going to show what it does in it, but I'm not going to break it down. That's what Essentials is for. Okay. But if you're wanting to jumpstart, you're wanting to start now before July, you definitely can take it. It's well worth it. It is 9 sessions. And each one kind of had some of them have extra stuff in it as well. So 9 different sessions to really help you with design. And I promise you to help you think outside the box. So you can start here and still take the one that's coming up in July if you would like. But the new training for complementing your business with other items such as, like I said, thank you cards, tags, designing your business cards, if you want to design a flyer. Flyers are ones that we're going to put on air, digital flyers, as well as if you're going to have them printed out. We're going to go through those things because you can design them and maybe save yourself. You're going to save yourself some money, but you're not going to save yourself time. If you know that you are completely stretched out to the max on time, don't try and do these things yourself, guys. I'm telling you, from my experience, it's better to just hand it off to someone where their business, their time is dedicated to creating those things, and free yourself up to focus on your business. This is a totally different meaning on mind your own business. Your business might be to create amazing shirts, tumblers, yard signs, stoles. You may not be in the business to create your thank you cards and business cards and all of those things. Turn that over to someone where that is their business. All right. I am using Windows 11. No, it has not affected my Silhouette program. All right. And as always, Essentials to Silhouette Studio, the link is in the description of the video. So that's right there. That breaks it down. The thumbnails are there to show you exactly what was covered each day. So do consider Essentials to Silhouette Studio. You're going to need it anyway for all programs going forward. This is a prerequisite. It is a prerequisite for all my classes going forward. All right. And don't forget about our Change the Game summation paper, summation ink, pigment ink, your cartridges, your chips, your heat tape that's non-staining, non-marking. You won't get those little yellow marks with our heat tape. So take a look at our full catalog of offerings and see what best fits your needs. All right. So I am out of here, guys. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me for almost an hour. I'm going to be done before an hour. Yay. All right, y'all. I shall talk to you later. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. Hit those hearts if you have not done so. You can also send us, if you're watching over on Facebook, don't forget about those methods to just simply say thank you for all of the great information. If your heart, leads you into that direction, just say thank you. Go ahead, hit the stars, send some stars on the live video, share it out, guys. A lot of great information in here that will benefit some other creatives. So be sure to share it out, invite them to our groups, invite them to subscribe to my channels as well, and try out our amazing products. All right, guys. This will not be the last one. We're going to talk a little bit more about things that complement your small business, so you don't want to miss it. All right. Peace.